ज़्यादा BTTC नेहा लाइव स्ट्रीम का यूज़ है मेन
I request all the participants present to kindly turn their phones to the silent mode or switch it off for the decorum of today.
Recording in progress.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to one and all present here today. Respected dignitaries, esteemed principals, and educational leaders joining us both offline and online, honorable faculty members and valued participants. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 47th BTTC Week celebrations, an institutional best practice since 1979. We are thrilled to kick off the BTTC Week with our inaugural event, the International Seminar on the theme Emerging Professional Attributes and Competencies Among Prospective School Teachers, Principals' Perceptions. In its truest sense is a transformative process and teachers are its most vital catalysts. In an era of rapidly evolving educational demands, this seminar provides a meaningful platform to reflect upon, deliberate, and reimagine the professional competencies required of future educators. As Brad Henry beautifully reminds us, a good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. At this juncture, kindly allow us to introduce ourselves. I am Sumaya Khan, and along with my co-anchors, I shall be guiding you through the proceedings of today's seminar.
And I'm Deborah Thomas, and it is indeed a privilege to anchor this beautiful academic event.
And I am Lekisha Ketkar. Today, we will be your host for the day and look forward to your active participation and cooperation. To commence today's proceedings on a note of reverence and grace, we now present with an invocation to Goddess Saraswati, the divine source of knowledge, wisdom, music, and the arts. This Saraswati Vandana is presented through the graceful classical dance form of Kathak, originating from North India. The performance gains special significance as it is being presented on a day close to Basant Panchami, which falls on 23rd January this year, an auspicious occasion that celebrates learning, creativity, and new beginnings in devotion to Ma Saraswati. Please welcome our performer, Ms. Ayushi Gala, a first year B.Ed. Thank you for that graceful and evocative performance. The dance has beautifully set the tone for today's seminar.
Beginning this academic gathering on a solemn and auspicious note, we shall now proceed with the lighting of the ceremonial lamp. May I request our organizing secretaries of the seminar, Vice Principal Professor Dr. Mandeep Kaur Kochar, Professor Dr. Rajiv Aija, Head of Department, and Dr. Neelu Verma, Associate Professor, to escort the dignitaries along with our Principal, Dr. Bhagwan Palani, and faculty members for lighting the lamp. As Swami Vivekananda said, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. The lighting of this lamp reflects that inner illumination we seek through knowledge and values. Thank you, everybody. To familiarize our guests with the vision, mission, and academic journey of our institution, we will now have a brief presentation of the college profile prepared by our students. students for preparing a concise overview of our institution.
I am pleased to invite Professor Dr. Rajiv Jha, Head of Department, to deliver the concept note.
Good morning and welcome to this international seminar, inaugural session of the 47th Bttc Week celebrations, an institutional best practice since 1979. I would like to begin by recalling a thought by the philosopher and educationist John Dewey. The test of a successful teacher is not how many questions they can answer, but how many questions they inspire in their students, unquote. This thought sets the context for today's seminar as we turn our attention to teachers' professional attributes and competencies. Teacher education today stands at critical crossroad. Rapid social change, technological acceleration, shifting learner profiles, and evolving policy frameworks such as the National Education Policy of 2020 and Global Teacher Competencies Standards have fundamentally altered what it means to be an effective school teacher. In this context, the preparation of prospective teachers can no longer be confined to mastery of subject content and routine pedagogical skills. It must consciously cultivate a broader set of professional attributes and competencies and prepare teachers to function as reflective practitioners, ethical professionals, collaborative leaders, and adaptive learners. The central focus of this conference is the identification and articulation of emerging professional attributes and competencies among prospective school teachers, viewed specifically through the lens of school and college principals. Principals occupy a unique and strategic position within the education system. They engage directly with newly appointed teachers, observe their classroom practices, assess their professional dispositions, and evaluate their readiness to respond to the complex realities of schools. Their perceptions, therefore, offer grounded practice-based insights that can meaningfully inform teacher education curricula, institutional practices, and policy-level reforms. The seminar seeks to move beyond the abstract discussions of ideal teachers and instead foreground competencies that are observable, actionable, and relevant to contemporary school contexts. A distinctive feature of this seminar is its international and cross-contextual perspective. Contributions from school leaders and education professionals across India and abroad invite comparative reflection on how teacher competencies are conceptualized, nurtured, and evaluated in different educational systems. Such perspectives help participants critically examine local practices while drawing lessons from global experiences. At the same time, the seminar remains rooted in the realities of Indian schooling, teacher education institutions, and regulatory frameworks. The discussions are expected to address key questions such as what professional attributes do school principals most value in newly qualified teachers today? Where do prospective teachers demonstrate readiness and where are the gaps most evident? How can teacher education institutions bridge the disconnect between theory-driven preparation and practice-based expectations? In what ways can collaboration between schools and teacher education colleges be strengthened to ensure professional alignment and continuity? This seminar also aims to stimulate reflective dialogue among teacher educators, student teachers, researchers, and school teachers. It encourages participants to critically examine existing teacher preparation models and to envision innovative, responsive, and future-oriented approaches. Thus, this international seminar positions itself as a platform for informed dialogue, shared learning, and constructive engagements. In essence, the international seminar invites all speakers and participants to engage with the common purpose to rethink teacher preparation through the lived realities of schools and to strengthen the professional foundations of those who will shape the learners and citizens of tomorrow. As we reflect on today's deliberations, it is worth reminding ourselves the recommendation of UNESCO that teaching is a profession that demands not only knowledge and skills, but also values, judgment, and a deep sense of responsibility towards learners and society. This reminder from UNESCO captures the spirit of our discussions and the responsibility we collectively carry as teacher educators, school leaders, and professionals. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rajiv I. Jha, for encapsulating the central theme of our international seminar. It is now time to formally introduce and felicitate our esteemed dignitaries who have graciously accepted our invitation and enriched this program with their presence and expertise. It is a privilege to introduce a visionary leader who is redefining the landscape of future-ready education. Ms. Sapna Changrani, Principal of Dubai Scholars, brings over 2 decades of strategic expertise to her role. She is relentlessly aspirational and unapologetically future-focused, championing a human-centered, AI-empowered learning community. For Ms. Changrani, technology is a tool to amplify, not replace, the essential human qualities of empathy, curiosity, and character. Through her commitment to student agency and emotional intelligence, she has built an ecosystem where every learner finds their voice and purpose. Under her impactful leadership, educators are inspired to nurture students who are not only academically excellent but also resilient and compassionate. She truly exemplifies the future of education in both vision and action. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. so profoundly stated, intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. With this spirit, we are honored to welcome you to Bttc, ma'am. Please join me in giving Ms. Sapna Changrani a warm round of applause.
Thank you so much for such kind words. Am I audible? I just wanted to check that first.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Just a note to all the speakers, ma'am, we will be introducing and felicitating all the guests before we hand over the mic and the podium to you to speak.
Fantastic. Can I go ahead?
Ma'am, we will be introducing all the speakers and felicitating all the speakers together, and then we will begin with each address individually.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It is a great pleasure to welcome back one of our own, Ms. Monica Tekchandani, joining us online from Massachusetts, USA. As the Center Director at Kiddos Land Child Development Center, Ms. Monica shows us just how far a degree in Bttc can take you. As Aristotle wisely said, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Ms. Monica is a multi-talented professional who knows how to combine smart business skills with a big heart for teaching. She is a leader who manages the responsibilities of running a school while keeping learning joyful and creative for children. This balance comes from her academic journey, beginning with her B.Ed from Bombay Teaching College, followed by a Master's in Commerce and further studies in business management. Over the past 15 years, she has grown through every role in education, from professor in India to classroom teacher in the US, and then assistant director and now the Center Director. She holds the highest certifications in Massachusetts, where she leads educators, designs curriculums, and oversees the entire school. But Miss Monica is more than just an administrator. She is also a published poet and an arts educator, reminding us that strong leadership and creative soul can thrive together. We are proud of her journey. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our online participant, Miss Monica Pichandani.
Thank you so much.
When we speak of emerging professional competencies, we are really speaking about how teachers learn to learn, collaborate, inquire, and innovate. And that brings to mind a powerful line by Alvin Toffler. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. These words resonate strongly with the work of our next speaker, Dr. Bttc, Principal of GAG, Khalsa College of Education, Gursar Sadhar, Ludhiana, a leader who has devoted his career to cultivating reflective, research-oriented, and technologically empowered teachers. With over 18 years of experience in teaching, research, and academic leadership, Dr. Garcha brings exceptional scholarly depth. He holds master's degrees in educational technology, economics, and psychology, a PGDCA, and a doctorate in education from Punjab University, Chandigarh. His areas of specialization include teacher education, cooperative learning, educational technology, and research methodology, all central to the theme of today's seminar. A prolific researcher and mentor, Dr. Garcha has authored 10 books, published 40+ research papers, and presented a 60+ national and international conferences, and delivered 70+ invited talks. He has guided numerous MD dissertations, evaluated PhD theses, and serves on editorial and review boards of academic journals. He is also the editor of the GAG Journal of Sixth Thought. In the area of digital and open education, he contributed to a UNESCO Chair project by developing a massive open online course on cooperative learning hosted on the MOOCkit platform of IIT Kanpur, with over 4,500 learners enrolled, and has led the implementation of learning management systems across institutions under GAG management. Beyond institutional leadership, he is the secretary of the Punjab and Chandigarh chapter of the Council for Teacher Education and has organized academic events at state, national, and international levels. He has also served on the Faculty of Education and Academic Council of Punjab University and continues as a member of its Board of Studies in Education. His life's work reminds us that teacher education is not about transmission of content, but about cultivating inquiry, collaboration, and adaptability. We are truly honored to learn from him today. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Bttc Garcha.
As a teacher education institute, Bombay Teachers Training College stands at a crucial intersection where future teachers are shaped, mentored, and inspired. And it is therefore most fitting that our next speaker is someone who works every day at the other end of that bridge, leading a school whose future teachers eventually serve. John F. Kennedy has said, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. These words come alive in the work of Dr. Anurag Pandey, Principal and Academic Head of Sanjeevani International School. A school leader who does not merely manage systems but cultivates professional character. His leadership reflects the very attributes we are discussing today: vision, collaboration, ethical grounding, innovation, and a global perspective. with advanced qualifications in English, education, human resources, school management, and a PhD in school education. Dr. Pandey brings both scholarly depth and practical wisdom. His work has been recognized nationally and internationally, from receiving the prestigious Nachiketa Award from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to being honored with the Visionary Skills of the 21st Century Award by IIT Bombay, the Innovation in Global Collaborative Learning Award, and the Principal of the Year Award 2024. He has also served as an international mentor with a German organization, reflecting his global education outlook. For us at Bombay Teachers Training College, his insights are especially valuable because he speaks not just as a principal, but a partner in shaping the next generation of teachers. So we are truly honored to have you with us in our college today. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause and welcoming Dr. Anurag Pandey. I request Principal Dr. Bhagwan Palani to kindly felicitate our speaker.
In conversations about emerging professional competencies, we often speak of integration of knowledge, culture, ethics, and identity. And that brings to mind a line by Rabindranath Tagore. The highest education is that which does not merely give us information, but makes our life in harmony with all existence. These words resonate deeply with the life and work of our next speaker, Mr. Dilip Ramrakhiani, Vice Principal of KC College and a truly multidimensional educator whose career bridges science, language, and culture with equal depth and devotion. With over 3 decades of sustained academic service, Mr. Ramrakhiani holds a master's degree in biology, a Bachelor of Education, a diploma in medical laboratory technology, and is currently pursuing an MA in Sindhi. He has also been conferred an honorary PhD by the World Culture and Environment Protection Committee. For 31 years, he has taught biology, and for 26 years, Sindhi, making rare, powerful contributions to both science inquiry and cultural literacy. He has served as a moderator in biology, an examiner in Sindhi for HSC, a subject expert for teacher recruitment, and an external expert member on the Board of Studies in Education at HSNC University. He is also a regular guest lecturer for HSC-focused academic programs and has played a key role in maintaining assessment integrity as a member of the flying squad of SSC and HSC examinations in 2024. His work has been recognized with an Outstanding Teacher Award by the Rotary Club of Ulhasnagar and the KC Ratna Award 2024. Honors that reflect not only excellence in teaching but leadership in educational values. Today, he will speak on core professional competencies of upcoming junior college teachers, a topic that beautifully aligns with both his experience and the spirit of this seminar. Please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. Dilip Ramrakhiani. I now invite our principal, Dr. Bhagwan Balani, to felicitate our speaker.
In a seminar that explores emerging professional attributes and competencies among prospective teachers, it is vital that we hear from voices who work not only in classrooms but also at the level of systems, policy, and large-scale teacher development. John Dewey famously said, "If we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow." We are honored to introduce one who lives out these words, Miss Nirupama Sharma, a distinguished education professional whose career beautifully bridges classroom practice and systemic educational reform. Currently serving as Chief Manager, Training and Development at Sterlite Ed India Foundation, she leads large-scale institutional strengthening initiatives with SCERTs and DIETs across multiple states. Her work focuses on competency-based teacher professional development, policy and curriculum advisory, and assessment design aligned with the national professional standards for teachers. She is also a registered specialist with the National Mission on Mentoring, with recognized expertise in Indian knowledge systems. What makes her perspective especially valuable for us at Bttc is that she has walked every layer of the profession as a school teacher, academic head, teacher educator, trainer, researcher, and system level leader. She holds master's degrees in education and psychology, is a certified happiness coach, and integrates well-being, leadership, and future readiness into teacher capacity building. Her research work spans collaborative learning, sustainability education, learner well-being, and assessment reform, reflecting a deep commitment to reflective, ethical, and professionally empowered teachers. Ms. Nirupama ma'am will be joining us shortly.
I would like to take this moment to welcome one of our speakers who has joined online, Dr. Pargat Singh Garcha. Please give him a round of applause. I would like to request all the dignitaries and our faculty members and organizing secretaries to kindly come forward for a group photograph. Online speakers, if you turn on your video cameras, we can include you in the photo.
Please put the lights off, the photos will be better. Please announce once again, online speakers can put their cameras.
Online speakers can turn on their video cameras as we are taking a group photograph.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It is now time for the keynote address by our principal, Professor Dr. Bhagwan Balani. We invite you, sir, to the podium to kindly share a few words with us today.
What if the future of education in India wasn't really about lectures and blackboards? Today, we're digging into a bold new blueprint for teacher training, one that's designed to get our educators ready for the challenges and opportunities of, well, right now. This scene, it's probably pretty familiar to a lot of us, right? For decades, this has been the standard, the classic sage on the stage delivering knowledge. And look, this system isn't all bad, it's gotten us this far, but the world outside the classroom has changed so dramatically that we just can't ignore the disconnect anymore. And that really gets to the core question, doesn't it? In a world that demands creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking, are we actually preparing our teachers to foster that? Or are we just training them to follow a script? The answer to this is going to shape the future for our students and for the country. So to really unpack this, we're going to explore 5 huge, game-changing shifts. We'll start by taking a hard look at where we're falling short, and then we'll dive into 5 powerful transformations that could honestly take our entire education system to the next level. First up, let's talk about this tale of 2 classrooms. Because before we can even think about building the future, we have to be super honest about the present. we've got to pinpoint exactly where our current teacher training is missing the mark when you compare it to global standards. This slide, wow, it tells a powerful story. While we've got a solid foundation, you can see some pretty glaring weaknesses in areas that are, well, they're absolutely essential for the 21st century. Our teachers aren't really being equipped with the digital skills they need, they're not being taught how to collaborate effectively, and they're definitely not being trained to use research to improve their own teaching. These aren't small things. These are major gaps holding our students back. Okay, so how do we bridge these gaps? Well, the very first step is a pretty radical shift in how we think about what a teacher even is. We need to move away from the idea of the teacher as just a content delivery machine and really embrace the concept of the teacher as a learning architect. This slide just nails the difference in mindset. The old way was all about covering the syllabus, right? And that often leads to students who are compliant, sure, but not genuinely engaged. The new model is all about designing learning experiences that actually spark curiosity and lead to a deep conceptual understanding of the material. It's a total shift. So how do we make this happen in the real world? One really powerful idea is the micro design studio. Think of it like a laboratory for teaching. Instead of just writing lesson plans by themselves, teachers get to work together to design, test, and refine actual learning experiences. It's a hands-on, collaborative approach that's all about finding what really works for students. Next up, let's talk technology. For way too long, we've treated tech in the classroom as sort of an afterthought, just something to be checked off a list. But it's time to move way beyond that and aim for true digital fluency. This means our teachers need to be able to use technology not just as a tool, but as a way to completely transform the learning experience itself. And the key difference here is between just learning how to use a tool and truly being digitally fluent. See, digital fluency means that technology is seamlessly woven into the teaching process. It's always in service of learning, never the other way around. So how do we get there? Well, the path to digital fluency, as you can see here, starts with a mandatory course in digital pedagogy. A big part of that has to be about the ethical use of new tools like AI. But maybe the most important piece is that these tools need to be used in real-world teaching situations during internships, not just taught about in a separate classroom. The third shift is all about assessment. It's time to completely rethink how we measure student learning, and that starts with changing the role of the teacher from a judge to a coach. And this is a huge shift in the relationship between teachers and students. We're moving away from assessment of learning, where the teacher is just an external judge handing out grades, to assessment as learning, where the teacher becomes a coach, providing feedback and helping students take ownership of their own learning. So how do we make this a reality? There's some really practical steps we can take. We can make sure all new teachers know how to create effective assessment rubrics. We can have students assess their own work and the work of their peers. And we can use tools like digital portfolios to track progress over time, not just focus on a single test score. Okay, shift number 4 is all about teamwork. For far too long, we've had this lone wolf model of teaching, where teachers are just expected to go it alone. It's time to change that. You know, the old way of doing things where a teacher reflects by themselves in a journal, that's a thing of the past. The new global standard is all about teamwork, where reflection is a collective process that benefits the entire school. Growth becomes a shared asset, not a personal struggle. We can create this kind of collaborative environment by building what are called collaborative professional cultures. Just imagine a school where teachers are constantly working together to plan lessons, give each other feedback, and figure out what works best for their students. It's a place where everyone is learning from each other and getting better together. And that brings us to our final and maybe most radical shift, thinking of the classroom as a laboratory and the teacher as a research scientist. If you've ever been a student teacher, you probably know that research can feel like a chore, right? An abstract assignment that has nothing to do with the real world. But what if we changed that? What if we thought of research as a practical tool for solving the real problems that teachers face every single day? The key to this is something called action research. It's a simple idea. Teachers study their own teaching to see what's working and what's not. For example, a teacher might try a new way of explaining a tough concept and then collect data to see if it's actually more effective than the old way. It's about turning the classroom into a laboratory for innovation. Now, it's really important to remember that these 5 shifts are not about throwing out the old system, not at all. They're about building on its strengths. The Indian teacher training model has a long and proud history of commitment to inclusion, social justice, and constitutional values. These are the foundations we need to build on as we move into the future. So there you have it, a blueprint for a new kind of teacher training in India. One that prepares our teachers to be designers, collaborators, and researchers. The question now is not whether we can do this, but whether we will. Are we brave enough to move beyond the sage on the stage and create a future of education that is more dynamic, more collaborative, and more focused on the real needs of our students? The answer to that question is going to define the future of our country.
Good morning, dear all. Dear dignitaries on the dais, my dear colleagues and my dear friends. When we were reflecting on what should be the title of the international seminar, we all together, faculty members at Bombay Teachers Training College, thought that education is changing rapidly because of the knowledge explosion. And knowledge is there on the fingertips. You just give the command to the AIs, put the right cues, and the whole knowledge is there in your pocket. The only concern is that how to consume the knowledge which can be applied, and with the help of that knowledge we can bring a lot of reforms. So keeping these we can say concerns, we all sit together and thought that if the knowledge is being supplied very rapidly, then it must be affecting as far as the attitude, attributes, competencies of these teachers. And I believe that India being a very young country, and because of the knowledge flow through the AIs, I think we should be the maximum beneficiaries and we will be able to transform our own education system in the society at large. And I believe that why to not use technology to its optimum use? I'll give an example. If you see this notebook LL video, this is generated with the help of AI. But in order to generate this video, I had to give a thought. I wanted to know what are the emerging thrust areas where we need to change our own curriculum, our own ways of translating the curriculum, our pedagogies, our assessments, and our engagement. So I did a lot of research on studying IB curriculum and all those things. So what happens, IB curriculum, definitely we have been practicing here at Bombay Teachers Training College in one way or the other way. It is partial, but I cannot claim it that our teachers are being trained through the IB, we can say modules. And I can't use it because there is a IPR. But when I was studying, I got to know that you can do that. But you had to issue a disclaimer in this regard. You can curate the curriculum, and then I thought, why to not curate a curriculum of 20 credits? Possible. And I believe that now, since we are a university, state public university, we have got a mandate to do a lot of research, innovation, and change the curriculum. So I believe that this is the one area where BTDC can take a leadership and can bring some of the components which are similar to IB. Similar, parallel. I don't claim that we will bring the IB component the way it is and the whole knowledge is available. I will just urge the student teachers, please go and then study the IB curriculum, their objectives, and then the whole curriculum you can get it because of the AI. Initially it was not possible. So now somebody may say that how ethically you can use the IB curriculum. are the some of the components. But when you will study the disclaimers, it allows you to use some of the features parallelly, and you can curate the curriculum for yourself. And I believe that the way teacher education is rapidly changing in India, I believe that it's a high time to borrow, let me use the word borrow, some of the very influential components of IB curriculum and bring reforms in the education. So, what we will do now, we will sit together and we will definitely contemplate on creating a course which can be offered to the regular B.Ed students and all other DLED and ECP students, where we can familiarize them with the IB way of pedagogies. Because in our campus placement, we realize that we have been receiving so many schools who are running international schools, IB-based schools. So, in order to help them to get absorbed in such type of environment, we need to create the environment by ourselves. So we are what we are doing. We are looking back in our own kitchen and then in ingredients and the recipe that we have been creating and serving to the students. I believe that's a high time to rethink, revisit, revise based on the we can say doing the need assessment the way the whole IB schools or international schools are expecting from us. I believe that now we were able to bring some of the components, like we have introduced digital pedagogy, we have introduced AI embedded pedagogies, we have been practicing on scaffolding digital pedagogies as best practices Bombay Teachers Training College, and we have brought a significant change in the we can say mindset of the student teachers, and I can definitely claim that our A5 B.Ed students have taken a significant interest in learning AI tools, and they have authored and chaptered. They written the chapter 106 chapters along with the faculty in collaboration, and we have come up with a book. So congratulations to you all that you had taken the initiative and you have brought the changes. Writing a book, writing a chapter, publishing it is a great idea, but now we have to go one step ahead. We have to create the content, and nowadays it is possible. Nowadays it is possible to create the content. How? I will just tell you. Now you just saw the video. Who was the author? I was the author. Who has written the note? I had written the note. I had written little article. How I written that article? By not typing everything by myself, but I took help of AI. And then later on, that article was fed to the Notebook LM, and Notebook LM has given me a beautiful video. So in this video, this we can say presentation reflect that there are 6 areas where we can bring more reforms. I don't say that we haven't brought the reforms, but the reforms are not so prominent, the reforms are not profound, reforms are insufficient. Reforms that we have brought in are insufficient because we have not yet created, we can say, pedagogies, digital pedagogies, the way we should have been done. We have introduced, no problem. We must have got a significant achievement in terms of implementing up to 30%, 40%, even 50% also. But I cannot claim that we know the digital pedagogies, we have defined it, we have defined the steps, and we know everything about it. I believe that there is a need and scope to do more research and understand in true sense what is digital pedagogy. We have to come up with the proper design and we can patent it, and it's possible. And even our universities also encouraging that whatever the new thing that you can create, please create, and then go for registration of the patent. So I believe that there is a golden opportunity for the BTDC faculty and the student teachers to work in collaboration and come up with the different models of digital pedagogies and AI embedded pedagogies. I think this is possible. this is possible to work together and come up with the different pedagogies, well-defined pedagogies, and we need to claim it. We need to register it as patent. And I believe that we will all work on it, and probably we will come up with much better pedagogies that we can give it to the society and give it to the teachers, upcoming teachers who can use it very effectively. Now, if you look at what kind of pedagogy it is there. Now, if you ask me to do this all, we can say audiovisual presentation, I cannot do it as a teacher merely by talking to the students. It will have minimum effect. But when you convert your ideas, your thoughts, your pedagogies in a very audiovisual manner, I think you can bring a lot of changes. So I believe that no doubt as Bombay Teachers Training College, we have got a lot of reforms. We have brought in AI, we have brought in digital pedagogies, we have embedded learning cultures, learning communities that create the knowledge. I think you have been listening since so many times, and we have also been, we can say, curating the curriculum from time to time so that we can pass on this legacy to the student teachers. We have got a lot of very positive feedback from practice teaching schools. And many more international practice teaching schools are approaching us that we shall depute students for internship placement. So apart from campus placement, I believe that we will strengthen our internship placement especially in IB and international schools so that our students get experience learning in the real environment as far as inquiry-based education is concerned. I believe that we will contemplate on it. There's a lot of scope to revise the curriculum. The way we have structured the curriculum with POs, COs, well-defined courses. We have also done mapping with outcome-based education. We have aligned our COs with POs, with PCOs and everything. No doubt, technically we have done a lot, but I believe that there is need to prescribe the curriculum in depth, include more case studies, and encourage a lot of reading on the part of the students. And I believe that collaboratively, if we put our efforts together, probably we will be able to produce more, we can say, tech savvy, knowledge savvy, student teachers who will really become a better practitioner when they will join this type of school. So I'm thankful to all the stakeholders, to all the principals who has accepted our invitation and who has agreed to put forth their own ideas to be implemented at Bombay Teachers Training College. We are eager to learn from your experiences, and I will request faculty and the student teachers, please make a note of the areas where we need to bring reforms so that we can provide much better teachers to the society. So let us put all our ideas together and come up with a beautiful, we can say, teacher education program that can be offered by Bombay Teachers Training College. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words and for creatively delivering the address through this engaging video that focused on the need for changing our approach in teaching and learning process. It is now time for the speaker's address. I now invite Ms. Sapna Changrani, Head of School, Dubai Scholars Private School, Dubai, joining us online. She will address the theme, A Holistic Teacher is a Future-Ready Teacher. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Just give me a minute to set my presentation. But before I do that, I really want to congratulate Dr. Balani and his entire team of faculty for doing a fantastic job. Once again, I was there last month and I could witness the kind of effort that you all put in. It's commendable. And now again coming on the same podium, thank you so much for this opportunity. Just give me a minute to share my presentation. Is my presentation visible? Thank you so much. I do understand that there is a lot of disturbance and disruption at times with online, but I think this is the best way we can facilitate the presentation staying in Dubai. It's been 31 years for me in Dubai and over a decade that I've been working with Dubai scholars, and I'm so proud to represent this school and my team that really believes on how we need to keep evolving and how we need to keep upskilling ourselves. So before I delve into what I need to talk about, I definitely want you to just pay attention to this particular slide. You see this picture? This is 1825. Then you see this picture, which is 1925. And then you see this picture, which is 2025. Needless to say, one thing which is common is we see all the kids smiling. And the reason we subscribe to this profession is primarily to see how our kids are happy at the end of the day when they graduate, when they are successful in whatever they do. They are happy, they keep smiling. Throughout their journey and throughout their life, this is our hope as teachers, that our children should be happy. That's the most important aspect. Now moving on to something which is very relevant to today's topic. You see this? This is 1950. Then this is 2000. And then you see this is 2025. Things are changing, things are evolving, but at the heart of it, it is the teacher who will always be there for their children. No matter what happens, you might have the best of AI, you might have the digital accessories, anything that you name for, you might have the best of technologies, but ultimately it is the teacher's heart, it is teacher's aptitude and attitude that will always take the center stage. Yes, look at this now, 2050. We are talking literally 25 years from now. This is the perception that we are all living in, that this is how a teacher would look like. This is what we all predict. This is all what we are moving towards. But trust me, I think we will get the odds right, and we will make sure that this is not limited just to what we see, but there is a heart again that will rule, that will be the heart of a teacher. What does a future ready educator look like? Someone like this, who would join hands with AI, who would not learn from AI, but learn with AI. And that's our strong message. In Dubai Scholars, the place where I serve, every time when we have our induction and new teachers come in, the first question we tend to ask is, how would you facilitate a child to thrive differently and successfully in a world of uncertainties? I'll shift the question for this session. How do we ensure that our teachers will thrive in the age of uncertainties? And I'm here to answer that. This is a model that I totally believe in, and it's not me alone, but my team of senior leaders, my fellow colleagues from different schools of the same group that I work for, and also many other leaders. I'm sure people sitting over there who are far more experienced than I also believe in something like this. We might give it a different name, but ultimately these are the characteristics, these are the areas that we look for, which is beyond your CV when you come for placements. So this message is for all the teachers, all the upcoming newly qualified teachers who are in a journey to explore. Please have some attention here now at this holistic model. The first is heart, as I spoke earlier also. Everything revolves around it. You need to form a connection. You need to be warm and you need to be caring. If you do not have these attributes, whether it's past, present, or future, you are not ready for this job. Next is organization, prepared and structured. No matter how qualified you are, how well you are in your delivery, it is so important for you to organize your thoughts and your work. You need to prepare and get into a habit to keep preparing for every lesson that you get into. So even if you have some micro lessons while you're doing your course or when you're going for internships, give your best. As Dr. Balani beautifully said, that AI is here to support you and then they can make things easy for you. But don't use AI as a tool where you're seeking answers. Use AI as a tool where you're brainstorming, where you're actually coming to a conclusion where how you can structure much better. Then you have the language, clear communication. Clarity is the key. If you are clear with your instructions, with your objective, with your goal, 90% of your problem is solved and you are definitely going to give an outstanding lesson because clarity in your thoughts and your mind and your presentation is extremely important. Inclusion. We keep talking about inclusion, but trust me, it is very difficult because you have children coming from different backgrounds, and I don't talk about diversity alone, I'm talking about the abilities as well. So you need to keep preparing a mindset that no matter what happens, whether you have a class size of 25 or 30 students or 15 students or 45 students, it doesn't matter. Every child, that equity is important. They are here to learn and you are here to teach. So make sure that you include every child. And today you have so many mechanisms that can facilitate your working. So make sure inclusion is your mindset. Safety, calm, respectful climate. You are creating an environment for a child to come and spend 8 to 9 hours of their productive day. How can you not make sure that safety is of prime importance? And when we talk about safety, we talk about mental, emotional, social, psychological safety and digital safety as well. So that's something which is extremely vital. Teaching agility and adapts fast. We are in a profession that just goes in a jiffy. We start our day and we end our day. And so many times when we reflect back towards the end of the day and we ask ourselves that where did the day go? And there is so much to accomplish. This is one profession that we are on our toes. And trust me, I speak this with experience. Just this morning, I'm having this session from the campus, from my school campus. Just this morning itself, in a span of, say, 1 hour, there were 5 meetings that I had to go for. And I just felt that how difficult it is to manage time. So after years of service also, if we feel that, I can totally empathize that you are in a process and a journey. So managing your time and being agile is something where it's like a non-negotiable. You need to keep training yourself how to be agile in order to be a holistic teacher and a future-ready teacher. Impact. The most important word that you will hear as soon as you step in, all while the time you are making you're a part of your course. Ultimately, when we write the exam, we get the result. In the same way, no matter what your journey is, if the child is not learning, if the impact is not seen in the class, you need to do a lot of reflection. Coaching mindset, consistency, and character. All 3 go hand in hand. You might aim for the stars, but ultimately, even if you're at the ground level and you're moving towards it, it's good. There is no magic wand. You have to work very hard. You have to work smart in order to develop a right mindset, consistency in terms of your routines and expectations. And the most important element is you have to discipline yourself. If today you feel that you're not able to submit your assignments on time as a part of your coursework while doing your B.Ed, trust me, how would you make sure that the lesson plans come to your supervisor on time? So all of these small little nitty-gritties are very, very important for you to be professional. This is the model as I just spoke, and I'll be sharing with the Bttc faculty. If you would like to go through, that would be really nice. This is again at the heart of all teachers. We need to make sure that the hierarchy of needs is always at the back of our heart and our back of our mind, where we understand that the holistic teacher has to make sure that this Maslow's theory is a part of our system and our DNA. So in your opinion, what's one small shift teachers could make in day-to-day is what I've always been talking about, is connection before correction. You need to connect with your students, and that happens only when you practice connection with your peers. Collaborate with people. Collaborate, understand, be very curious yourself to know what is happening around you. Nothing you will not find everything on a platter. Never. There is no ideal institution, there is no ideal world. We're all survivors when it comes to resources, and we have to make sure that we come with the willingness to learn in any organization that you join. So in order to do that, please make sure that your connections are strong. Today, there are plethora of opportunities when it comes to networking. Please make sure that you avail each and every bit of it. Now, I'm just going to be very quick and talk about the vision statements of our school, which encompasses everything. And if you're talking about our school or any school, statements could be different, but ultimately everyone is trying to send across the same message. Student well-being and achievement, strong communication and collaboration, effective curriculum implementation, data-driven decision-making, and professional development. These are your big five. You need to keep this very clear that unless and until you are not prepared to go through the journey with all these five as your foundation, as your big five, it will be very difficult for you to survive and thrive in the world of education. This is beyond a contract. This is a commitment that you make to yourself because you want to be a teacher, a guru. So when we talk about well-being and achievement, it is also important that you keep your well-being in place. No one can come and take care of your well-being. We can come up with some activities, or we can give you some kind of, soft privileges to make sure that you're well-being. But it is you who has to make sure that how you take your work-life balance or work-life harmony into consideration. So for that, it's important that you take care of your mental and physical well-being. These are some pictures, what we see in our children when we talk about student well-being. A holistic teacher has to put her talent, her strengths into action. And that's a very smart way. And in order to do that, during your journey, please make sure that you give opportunity for your talent to be nurtured so that you can come and make a difference in the school and the lives of kids. If you are a good singer, you're in drama, you're good in sports, it doesn't matter. If you're a chemistry teacher, but if you can play on the field, just go out and play on the field, keep fit, and make sure that that's the message. Through your lesson, you pass it on to your students. Then you have leadership. Teachers are leaders. You are the king or the queens in your classroom. You are an innate leader. So make sure that your leadership is well groomed and you just take on responsibilities. It doesn't matter what you're earning, just keep in mind whatever you earn, you have to give it 100 times more if you want to grow. And yes, that's all with regard to communication and collaboration also. As I mentioned, networking is very important. Come with a great attitude, come with an attitude to learn from people. Look at Dr. Balani in his message also. He just mentioned to his faculty that keep learning, keep taking the good practices from everyone. So it doesn't matter whether you are 1 year old or you're 50 years old in a business. You need to keep learning and keep upskilling yourself. This is very, very important. As I just mentioned, teaching staff, you need to make sure how your professional development is taken care of right from the day go. In fact, the time you sign your offer letter, make sure that you try to make an impression that you're here to learn and to support. So you could say keep your child alive. That's if you want to be a future ready teacher or a holistic teacher, keep your child, keep the child within you alive, because you will always stay young and happy. If you are happy, only then you can make the world happy around you. So we have some things in school, but I'm sure you can come and create opportunities wherever you go, where you make sure that it's a happy environment for yourself and for your students. Very, very important part, your curriculum implementation. It is so important that you have an edge over Google, which is so difficult. So keep that in mind, that understand what assessment for learning and off learning means. Again, it was very nicely said earlier. Make sure that it is student-centric, make sure it is full of inquiry-based, and make sure that you use your data well in order to understand data, understand what are the external benchmarks that people use so that you can understand your cohort of how they are performing. And then any decision that's made on data is more informed and logical, and it also convinces your stakeholders to take responsibility and accountability. You are a facilitator, you're a tutor, you're an expert, you're an advisor, you're a coach, you're a healer, you're an enabler, and you are a role model. Too many hats that you wear, but I'm sure all the teachers of Bttc are right there. We've got personal experience. So many teachers of your college have really done well for themselves in our institution and other institutions internationally. I'm sure about that. So on that note, if you have any questions, you can always reach out. It was lovely to get in touch with everyone. And that's about it. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am, for highlighting and motivating that a teacher's role would always be essential and significant amid AI, and also explaining to us the true meaning of being a holistic teacher. Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome.
Next, we invite Ms. Monica Tekchandani, Center Director and Administrator at Kiddos Land Child Development Center, Braintree, Massachusetts, USA, who is joining us online to speak on the topic Global Perspectives on Teacher Competencies, Lessons from the US Experience. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. BTTC team, Principal Dr. Bhagwan Balani, Vice Principal Ms. Mandeep Kochar, and all the BTTC staff, attendees, students, alumni. It's very glad to see you all. Firstly, I want to thank you for the wonderful introduction about me and my career growth. I truly feel honored with the kind words, and I want to say that I owe all the success definitely to Bombay Teachers Training College. Without you, I wouldn't have had the platform to grow and come and be where I am today. Thank you so much, and I owe a lot to all of you. Well, today I want to talk about global perspectives on teacher competencies from the US perspective. And my presentation would be mostly focusing on the requirements and what are the skills that we need as teachers in this country versus globally. So let me start with what are teacher competencies? So I'll go to the next slide. So the skills and qualities which every teacher requires. That was the very teacher. Classroom management, keep the classroom structured. We do not want kids running around. We definitely want to see a classroom which looks like well focused. Third thing, communication. It's not only communication with the students, but even with your co-workers and now even parents, because we're responsible to let parents know about day-to-day activities which their children are doing and how they are growing and how as co-workers we can communicate well with each other and understanding student needs. Well, these are the very broad perspectives of what we say teacher competencies. But from US perspective and from the perspective of having schools all around the world, especially international schools, now these competencies require a lot more, and the next slide would help us to go there. So why are we saying that the competencies are now more wider? Because of three things. The main thing is the culture, because especially in US we see a lot of people. It's a very diverse country, so we see cultures, people from all over the world, all over cultures coming here, and definitely you cannot impart the same knowledge to all the kids who are coming from different cultures because of language barriers, because of emotional barriers, because of mental barriers, because of the way they are being raised, and social barriers too. So student population, definitely that's why the student population is different, because they're from all different cultures and they are from different, they're coming to this country in different parts of their ages, which makes it more difficult. And the education system, because the system, we do not have different boards over here, but definitely the system has to be created in a different way, especially when we have this inflow of people coming from all over the world, and then we have students of all different ages coming to this country at different levels of their knowledge. I should say that students coming from India are able to get along very well and they can survive. But students from different countries, where especially the main language is not English, it's very different, very, very different, and very difficult in the beginning for these students. So we go to our next slide. So what is the main thing in US? We look at this, we have 59% white population, but then we have Hispanic, we have Africans, we have Asian, 6%, and then we have the other races. We speak at least 300 to 430 languages are spoken in this country right now. So it's the most diverse countries in the world. And third and very important stuff, which is ruling the students this time, and the business this time, is that we have very different abilities. Around 7.5 million students in US need some special education, whether they are slow learners or they have speech delays, language delays, because again they're coming from all over the world. They have health issues. Where such a major population needs special education, we cannot design the same type of curriculum for all the students, and this is the biggest challenge of this country, that all the students have different abilities right now. So this creates a challenge for the teachers in the classroom. Now we go to our next slide. Besides all this are these things, because over here we need to attend workshops to keep ourselves updated. We have mentoring programs, because teachers need to grow all the time, because we have different abilities. So, and we learn every day something new, especially the AI. And then new teaching strategies. That's the very important thing for now. Imagine, most of us can remember teachers We do remember our teachers teaching us lessons, but we especially remember those who made us feel encouraged, confident, and even removed our scares during the exam. I still remember going to Bttc, and our teachers over there had an open door policy. We used to go in their office, take out us tomorrow's my lesson plan tomorrow. Especially me, I had a GD Somani as my internship, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do it tomorrow. So that scare was removed because all the teachers were welcoming, giving us the confidence that we can do it. Well, for example, there's a teacher who enters to teach mathematics in the classroom. And she just says, oh, students, I have a question for you. Where do we use mathematics every day? In everyday life, where do you use it? And you'll see all the hands going up. Oh, we use it at the shopping mall. Oh, we use it here. We use it there. We use it for games. And there the interest starts in the topic. Well, there's another teacher who enters the classroom, greets the kids. Well, she has a warm welcome. She has a very nice smile. But she starts like, okay, so now today we are going to go on page number 23 and start solving problem number 60. Well, there you go. The students will definitely lose interest. Not all of them, but most of them. And that's how we need to change ourselves, because students' interest is number one. When it comes to teaching, first you have to create the interest in you to be a teacher. That reminds us that teaching is not about what is taught, it's also about who teaches it and how that person teaches it. So good teacher has to have an ability to connect the lessons to real life situations to make it more meaningful to these children, because children do not want to learn only through the textbooks. Today it's very different. Now we'll go to the next slide. And I want to give you a little example. This is what we do every spring at our center. We buy some caterpillars and we bring it to the school. We teach them about life cycle, butterflies, caterpillar to butterfly life cycle. 3 weeks we keep these caterpillars, they keep growing, they go through the different stages, we talk about it, and then how does it go to the cocoon? Then we feed them with oranges, we put them in the butterfly nest, and here on this picture you can see it's me with the butterfly in my hand. So after 3 weeks we go to the playground and we fly these butterflies. The kids get to touch it, they get very happy, and believe me, this type of instruction is lifelong learning. They go and talk about every stage at home. Or today our caterpillars are so big. Today they are more bigger. And today they were eating oranges. Today they were crawling up. And today they are butterflies and we flew them. I got to touch them. And that's how, the learning is lifelong learning. We go to the next slide. Now, this is a topic about transportation, and we are talking about air transportation. This is a flight simulation going on by my staff who are acting as pilots, and they're announcing what they're supposed to announce in the flight. Before that, they had a security check-in, they made their passports, their boarding passes, they went through immigration, now they're sitting on the chairs with belt on them. It looks, okay, it's very simple topic, but you know what, this is kids who have not gone in a flight, or kids who had not had the opportunity to still, learn about different transportations and focus. This is the way you can get their focus, because now they're interested. They have a flight. Wow, they have their belts on. And after this, we had aerosters go around with food, asking. It was very fun, and we have made a whole entire video. I would love to share if anybody wants to see that, and how we imparted knowledge, and that video went to the parents, and parents were, wow, this is a very good way of learning. We go to the next slide. And as you all know, we stay in a very cold state, Massachusetts, Boston, and the kids are always wondering how polar bears can survive in the Arctic region. We cannot even survive with our mittens on. And so this was done just day before yesterday, where we made some blubber gloves out of shortening. That's Crisco. This is oil shortening. It's similar to fat. And when you put it in a Ziploc and then you touch the ice cubes with that type of gloves on you, you never feel the ice cubes cold. And that's what our kids are doing over here. They're touching the ice with the blubber glove, And then they can feel, oh, why polar bears can survive? Because they have a thick fur and they do not feel the chilly ice on their hands. And this makes them wonder, oh, now we know why polar bears can live and we cannot survive with our mittens in this weather. Well, that's how we teach over here. So next we'll go to the others. Next slide, please. So this is what is another requirement over here. Every year, the teachers need 20 hours of training. That's minimum, with 6 hours training in special needs. To keep their license going, they have to do this. They have to complete the EEC essential training and refresher course every year. They have to have a doctor's physical note to be in a classroom. That means every year they have to visit a doctor, get themselves physically checked. And then when the doctor says that we are physically fine to work in this profession, then I can accept a teacher at my job. The next thing, the first aid and CPR training. Every year we are mandated to take first aid and CPR training. It goes on for 6 hours, and every year, though it's the same thing, we have to take it every year to refresh ourselves. And background check. Every 3 years, we have to conduct a background check. And even if a small act of a speeding ticket, we can lose our job. Next slide. Now, director's job, which is my job. My job also to take the same trainings, find different areas where I can take trainings, same background check, CPR, licensing visit. Now what's that? That means a state representative can come to my center anytime to see how the program is running, whether all the files are updated, whether all the teachers have a current physical, have a current CPR, have a current first aid, and their doctor's note, and I have to perform observation, so that has to be there. It's a surprise visit. It can be once in a year, twice in a year, 3 times in a year, and we have to be always prepared for that visit. Because if anything is found with this visit, the doors have to be shut for the program forever. And maybe they're in the news if it's a very big some fraud or something which is not being reported to the state. So our job is more difficult than a civil job to keep all these records updated all the time. And we have to give it to the state whenever they require from us. So in short, I would say that teachers are not only expected to be educators over here, they have to be doctors, they are required to be counselors, support staff. Of course, next is the technology. So we'll go to the next slide. Technology. Almost 900% increase after COVID with use of technology in this country. Every homework today in US is online. When you went to 4th grade till you graduate from college, all the homework is online. And with that being said, technology is a big requirement in this country. Smart boards, learning, online assignments, even the grades are given online, feedback is given online. We can't even imagine. In fact, after COVID, kids who do not have laptops, the schools are providing them free laptops, free internet, free Wi-Fi to be in homework and grades online. With that being said, definitely all the teachers have to be very well educated in technology, and it has increased and has been increasing further and further, especially after COVID. Next slide, please. So what are we learning from this? I would say that in this country, we have to keep investing in teacher training, support inclusive classrooms because of the majority of population being diverse, create in very interesting classroom materials, lifelong learning, and use of technology. With all this, I would say that we are not only educators, we are doctors, we are counselors, we are psychologists. I would even say that we are, to some extent, drama actors and actresses, because after such a burden on our brain, we still keep smiling. all the difficult times, we'll still keep smiling and show that we are fine, because ultimately it's our passion that keeps us in this profession. And this passion comes only with years and years of teaching and loving kids. When teachers are combining these professional skills with positive attitude and real life understanding, I would say only then they can not only meet the director's expectations but also shape the future of the society. And I would say that at BDC, I am very glad what Dr. Balani said, that yes, all the changes, whatever I have seen from the time I have learned at BTC until today, huge difference. And I'm so glad that you keep updating yourself as per the requirements, as per the new things in this teaching profession. And I'm even thankful that you have given me the opportunity to speak today, and give you the a little bit idea of how things are run over here. But I would definitely say that at first the students have to create confidence, and that confidence cannot come unless they have been educated in schools like BDPCC. The next slide. As I said, great teachers make a big difference. Countries can learn from one another, but strong teacher competencies lead to student success. And a successful student is a good future citizen. With this, I end my presentation. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. It was a pleasure to see all of you, and thank you once again, especially involving me in everything in BTTC. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you soon. If you have any questions, I open it for the audience.
Thank you, Miss Monica, for sharing. Yes, let's have a round of applause. Thank you, Miss Monica, for sharing global perspective and widening our understanding of teacher competencies. Your lessons from your culturally and linguistically diverse classroom reminded us that the how of teaching is important and not just the what. From the examples you've displayed of caterpillars to butterflies, these beautiful examples shared how you have integrated your belief of heart in teaching. And thank you for your presentation today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much to all of you.
We now invite Dr. Pargat Singh Garcha, Principal, GLG, Khalsa College of Education, Gurusar Sadhar, Punjab, to address us online. He will share his insights on the topic Core Professional Competencies for Teacher in the Digital and Inclusion Era. Over to you, sir. We now invite Dr. Anurag Pandey, Principal, Sanjeevani International School, Kharghar, to address us. He will be speaking on the Future Ready Educator, aligning teacher attributes with emerging trends. Sir, the stage is yours.
Happy morning, everyone. As one of the speakers says, how happiness is important. And as an educator, I strongly believe that happiness is a matter of choice. And we as educators should always choose to be happy so that we spread a lot of happiness around. First of all, I would like to extend my deep gratitude to Honorable Principal Dr. Bhagwan Balani, Bombay Teachers Training College, Honorable Professor and Vice Principal Dr. Mandeep Kaur Kochar, Vice Principal Bttc, Dr. Dilip Ram Rakhiani, Vice Principal KC College, Ms. Nirupama Sharma, and all the future ready educators present here. Thank you so much for having me here. I am an educator by choice, and I strongly feel that if your passion becomes your profession, you love to explore, you love to innovate, and you love to take a deep dive in the sea of knowledge. And as an educator, the journey of learning is always ongoing, and you keep learning from every situation, every person, and this is how it makes you a teacher who's always ready to learn. So today's topic, the future ready educators, aligning teachers' competencies with emerging trend, is very close to my heart. It is rightly said, next slide please. So impact of teachers on nation progress. A nation with a strong educational background has a bright future. And because it's the teachers who are the change makers. They are called the architect of future minds, because it's through teachers only you can see the transformation in the society, because education is the strongest tool through which you can bring the desired change in the society. So the impact of teachers on nation's progress, next slide please, is really paramount. So the need of future ready educators. So school is a place where future takes birth. And some of my co-speakers already said that we are living in time which is changing so rapidly. So we are living in a world which is continuously evolving, which is continuously innovating, and it's ever-changing world. And to equip the student with the times which are changing so rapidly, we have to ensure that we equip them with the desired skill set, rather the 21st century skill sets such as communication, collaboration, critical thinking, computing skills, which is so very important. And emphasizing on creativity and real life experiences is so very important. At the same time, ensuring that you imbibe values in the children. I'm sure you would agree with me, in the times which we are living, where students know the price of everything and value of nothing. So it is our job as educator to ensure that we are imbibing values in the children, because values are the essence of life. Next slide, please. So, preparing for an ever-changing world through the lens of NEP 2020. So, the NEP vehemently focuses on skill-based education, which is so very important. And as I said, that we are living in times which is evolving and innovating and changing so rapidly. So is the need. So we equip the student with the desired skill set so that they can face the challenges of the times to come. And I feel confidence is the highly desirable weapon or a tool through which they can face all challenges of life. Now the question arises, how they be happy, cheerful and confident learners. So now the role, as I said here, that there's a shift from teacher-centric to student-centric. So now the teachers are no more sage on the stage, but they are the guide on the side. And I would like to cite an example about a platform which we provided to our student. So Sanjeevani International School, Kharghar, where I started my journey as a principal 4 years ago. And I'm sure as educators and the experienced educators sitting out here, they would agree with me that there's always a scope for improvement and learning, because learning is a never-ending process, and there's always a thrust area. So in my school, the thrust area was, what I felt personally, was the communication skills, and just we wanted to provide a platform to the student to make teaching English as a functional English subject. And we started with communicative English, where there was no structured curriculum. It was all activity based, it was all project based learning, where students had the opportunity, where they had the platform to exhibit their creativity, talent. And it just started with communicative English 4 years ago, and I'm extremely happy and proud to share that today we have produced 16 authors who have written their own books, and we have registered the school in India Book of Record and Asia Book of Record for producing maximum number of authors. So it just started with a small activity where we all teachers sat together, we brainstormed, we thought of that how we can find a solution. So as an educator, I always feel that there would be problems, there would be challenges in life, but how you take those challenges in a positive way, how you handle the situation very adroitly, rather very skillfully, instead of focusing on the problem, it's better we focus on the solution. Instead of magnifying the problem, we magnify the solution. And all English department, along with our communicative English HOD, we sat together, we designed our own curriculum called as Voice and Values, where we taught English not just as structured curriculum English, but we taught English along with values. So the curriculum was designed in such a way that we ensure that we are also imbibing values in the children. As I told you that these days they are living in all real world and not real world. So we really wanted to make it more relevant, make it more functional, and as I told you that how small things make a lot of difference. And today these 16 young authors, they recently participated in Pune Literature Fest, where their podcast was recorded, and they are inspiring other students in the schools who are also, they are paving the right way for them to walk on. And I'm sure the journey of learning will surely continue. Next one, please. Many experienced speakers talked about the professional development, and I'm sure you would also agree that how important it is, the upscaling, updating from time to time. And for that, learn, unlearn and relearn is so very important. Unless, and as I said, that learning is a never-ending process. We keep learning from every situation and every person. Sometimes when you go to the classroom and the smallest ideas are presented in such a unique way by a student that it's, I mean, we also are completely taken aback. So I'm sure if we have this mindset of learning from students as well, I'm sure that would create a happy learning environment in the classroom, which is so very conducive for everybody's growth. And for that to answer, and if we have this type of learning approach, I'm sure our attitude also change as educators, like from correct answers versus creative answers, where we give the opportunity to a student to speak, to ask a lot of questions. The only thing what I personally feel and have observed as an educator during my journey of 21 years, that the students when they are in kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, and now also whenever every day I go to the classrooms and I interact with them, and they have a lot of questions to ask. They are beaming up with a lot of joy, confidence, and they ask me n number of questions, and they share so many things. But at the same time, when I go to grade 10, grade 11 and grade 12, they don't ask any questions. I'm sure you would also agree with me. So as they grow, the art of asking question is missing, and I feel that is very alarming. So as educators, we have to ensure that we give them that opportunity to explore and exploit their potential to the optimum. and provide the platform where they are free to ask any questions they have in their mind without having any sort of fear or fear of failure for that matter also. Because I teach my student that only two things happen in this world when you try something new, when you take risk, when you adopt challenges. Either you win or you learn. There's no failure. Next slide, please. Yes. Instead of providing a platform where they compete with each other, it's better we provide a platform where they learn to collaborate with each other, because the word team itself says together everybody achieves more. So teamwork makes dreamwork. This we have to start, it is rightly said, catch them young, right from kindergarten to primary level, because these are the real formative years where a lot of learning happens. And from the beginning itself, if we instill this importance of teamwork, because when they learn to work in team, they also learn to be more empathetic, they also learn to respect each other's differences, they also learn to value each other's point of view at the same time, which is so very important. So the new mantra of classroom management is connect to correct. This is so very important. Unless you connect, you cannot correct. It's just like a Wi-Fi. For example, if I have got wonderful memories, the way I've captured these wonderful memories of this wonderful event out here, and if there are two devices, and if there's no Wi-Fi, I have a lot of data in this cell phone, but then if I'll not be able to connect through Wi-Fi, it's of no point. Same is with the teacher and the taught relationship. So unless and until you make that conducive learning environment in the classroom, and unless and until you connect with them, you cannot correct. As an educator, I also believe that praise in public and criticize in private. It doesn't mean that we don't have to correct the student. We do have to correct, but then there are ways and means through which you approach. And I'm sure that bond, that chemistry which we share with our student, that is a magical tool through which you can change a child in a positive way. Yes, foundation of values. As I said, that values are the essence of life. So we have to ensure that we imbibe values in the children, because it is so very, after all, what really counts is this, in Hindi बोलते हैं ना कि सबसे ज़्यादा competition हर field में, there's a lot of competition in every field, in every profession. सिर्फ एक जगह जहाँ competition नहीं है, वो है एक अच्छा इंसान बनना. There's no queue. So we have to ensure as educators that they first learn to become a good human being. That is so very important. No matter what, but how you make people feel, they'll never forget. So that can only happen when we, because classroom is the only place where you can imbibe these values and virtues, which is seen in the real world. When they go out, and I'm sure they'll continue with those same values, which will create a wonderful learning environment and spread happiness wherever they go. Yeah, so this era is all about global thought leaders, local to global, and I first of all request all the educators sitting here to give a big round of applause to all the teachers, because teaching is the only profession which makes all the professions. And I'm sure in everyone's life there is one mentor who has brought that positive transformation. Same is my case. I mean, I have a lot of mentors. They have paved the right way for me to walk on, and I'm here sharing whatever I've little I could achieve as a learner, as an educator during my journey of 21 years. And so the teachers who have transformed these learners, and India is known as the land of CEOs. So, and they have shown the world that we are the best, and we firmly believe in the Sanskrit phrase, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, this world is one family. So that will only happen when first we teach our student the importance of our culture, if they learn to respect our culture, our traditions, our ethics and values, and I'm sure when they uh, step out of a country, they will also have the same values where they'll respect others' culture, traditions. They also learn to respect the differences. They learn to respect that, I mean, uh, every individual is a unique individual, and they learn to respect the differences, which will again help us to make this world a better place to live in, which is the need of the time. Conclusion and the way forward: cultivating happy learners is our goal, and that can only happen when there are happy teachers. Through if teachers are happy, I'm sure they'll I would use the word, and if they step into the classroom with a smile, when they sport a wonderful smile, which is I called as an infectious smile. So I want these happy teachers to infect more students with the infectious smile, and infect everyone with that happiness. And this is how we'll be able to make happy community, because it's I, it's you, and it's we who build the community. I would like to conclude my session with a small video which is very close to my heart, and I'm sure you definitely love it.
This is How I See Myself by Madeline Cooper. This is How I See Myself by Madeline Cooper. This is me at the beginning of school. Let's draw some portraits. So I drew the boy I was seeing inside, and I scribbled my big crooked head. My eyes were real wide, like I was afraid. My lips only smiled halfway. My shoulders were drooping because I was so dumb. I never had good stuff to somehow you found me beneath all those lines. You told me that I was real smart. You taught me to read and believe in myself. And you warmed up my big scribbled heart. So now this is me at the end of the year. I think that I look like a king. I'm wearing a crown. My shoulders are strong. I'm thinking intelligent things. Who would have guessed that in only 1 year I'd need to redraw every feature? But this is the way that I see myself now. All because you were my teacher.
So through this platform, I want to salute all the teachers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for articulating the essential attributes of future-ready educators. Your valuable thoughts about how the journey of learning is always ongoing and the impact of teachers on nation's progress has really enriched our understanding with respect to the shift from teacher-centric to student-centric education. Your emphasis on creativity to connect to correct and use real-life applications in learning has really motivated us to grow as educators. We are truly grateful for your time and guidance, sir.
I would like to take this moment to extend a very warm welcome to you, Miss Nirupama Sharma. I invite our Vice Principal, Dr. Mandeep Kaur Kochar, and our faculty to kindly felicitate our next speaker. Ms. Nirupama Sharma is a Chief Manager at Training Ed India Mumbai, and she's here to share her expertise with us. Her topic is Emerging Professional Attributes and Competencies Among Prospective School Teachers from the NPST perspective. Ma'am, over to you.
First of all, a heartfelt gratitude towards the Bttc family, Dr. Balani, Dr. Mandeep Kochar, Dr. Rajiv Jha, and all the faculty here for inviting me here and being part of this august gathering of educators, future educators, and already teachers, principals. It always gives me a lot of hope coming here. I majorly deal with the government sector, SCRTs and DIETs and across 8 states in India. And how God plans it when I get tired from there and when my hope is a little down, when I see how teacher education is being carried forward in the government sector, and when I come to BTTC, my hope rises. So thank you for that, all the faculty and all the future teachers here. I've been interacting closely with all of you in my sessions, and I've seen the energy, the hope that you will, and effect and impact that you will bring into the future classrooms. So now when this topic of prospective teachers, what are the competencies that would be required, was shared by Dr. Rajiv Jha, I was wondering what are the competencies and how many are there? From the time I completed my BA 25 years back to this time when all of you are learning to be teachers, being trained to be teachers, there's a huge difference, right? And what is it that you have to be ready to make the future children ready for the professions and all? So I thought of certain things because I come strongly from the government sector. I thought of certain things which the government has already laid down and has laid a framework which would help you to decide what kind of competencies would be needed and what kind of preparations we need in the classrooms, in the curriculum, what all do we need to prepare for that. So this is the prospective teacher. She'll be handling a huge spectrum of learners, right? We can go to the first problem was like, what do you think? What could be a prospective teacher? What is it that we need to prepare her for? So, what are the basic characteristics that a teacher of today needs? So, when I see all of you, interact with all of you, it's difficult for me to stand in one place. So, when I interact with all of you, I feel digitally you are very strong. You can, take out information in a jiffy. But what to do with that information? Not of content, but where to take it forward, how to use it in the classroom. What is the limit of what has to be used in the classroom? So if I have a basket of knowledge, what is it that I have to, deluge into the classroom for the learners? The second thing that I find is a challenge with today's teachers is the judgment of the classroom. When you enter a class of 40 learners, what is it that you have to do? What is differentiated learning? A lot of the, knowledge is there in the books when you talk about a universal design of learning. But what is it? What is that intuition that a teacher should have? Okay, this is my class. This is how I need to, deliver a lesson in section A and how it changes in section B. So when you go into the actual classroom, you will also start judging with sections. Section A ka crowd ye hai and the section B I have to deliver it in that way because the 40 students, the 40 minds over there are very different from that in section A. So that kind of judgment I think the teachers are, kind of not lacking, but it is a little less. So your internship program, your teaching practice program should be able to enrich you in that. Really it is, I always feel glad when I go to DIELS, when I go to B.Ed colleges, that whosoever joins the teacher training course comes with a lot of motivation. I'm sure all of you also are motivated to be teachers. A loud yes. Yes. Yeah. So I see a lot of motivation when they join the institutes and they have a lot of dreams and they feel that they are going to change the world because kitabon mein padha hai ki teaching is a noble profession, right? But slowly, as Sir said, 8th standard mein question aa rahe the, 11th, 12th mein nahi aa rahe. So slowly when they go for teaching practice and when they actually land into the job, the enthusiasm somewhat goes down, right? So at BTTC you have to maintain that promise. कि कुछ भी हो, motivation and enthusiasm has to be at its peak because teacher has no choice. She has to be motivated each and every day. She has to reach the school in time. She has to be creative while planning her lesson, right? So you have to promise that. So yes, that's what I said. When you become teachers, the complex learners dynamics, we kind of, we do not know that. So we learn through the process when we become teachers. 1 or 2 years down the line, you come to know what is the real tactics when you go to the classroom. Next. One important thing which the teachers, lack compared to other professions. Professional identity to mil jati hai hame because wherever we go we are labeled as either teacher or educators, right? But what is my professional journey? Where am I going through my experience? Every time a teacher is like 15 years, 10 years old in the system, the tenure is the label, not your role, right? So NPST lays down a clear-cut standard for every stage and it tells you what to do and how to go about it to reach the next stage. So where is the shift needed? Where is the shift needed in the pre-service teacher training? I think BPTC is already, meeting the demands of the time. When I interact with Balani sir, most of the times he's like always way ahead with ideas, way ahead with, and he's so excited about all the changes that he's going to make. So, but as a platform, as a usual trend, we see a lot of gap between, teacher training and actual demands of the school. So from content-heavy courses, we have to move towards more practical and rich preparation, right? So your teaching practice has to be very solid, and I see that BTTC, the 6 months teaching practice is taken very seriously. From evaluation only, we have to move towards mentoring. Like you give the exams, you give the tests, you give the assessments, but what do you do with them? You have to provide mentoring to your students, right? The courses, the curriculum of teacher trainings right now is one size fits all. Like there's a differentiated, classroom. When you teach the students, there is a differentiated classroom in your B.Ed colleges also, in your pre-service teacher training also. There's a lot of cultural milieu, that is, cultural differences that are there. So we have to handle that also. What is a teacher, trying to become as a teacher? What is it that she wants to go in? Does she want to go into a government sector, or she wants to, travel internationally and join some international school? Or is she trying to go into a religiously minority group school? So we have to keep all that in mind and somewhat give the unique experience to the PSPs so that they are prepared for the future. From compliance to professional agency. So when I say compliance, what does it mean? For every teacher, it is expected that you have to maintain your lesson plan diary, you have to prepare a holistic report card, you have to have your anecdotal records in place. So these are all compliances that a teacher maintains. So from there, I think we need to shift to something called a progressive, report card. What is the child learning? What is it that he needs? Instead of just the report card where you enter the marks, the grades, and just few observations. We can go to the next. So I'm like I have a little trouble when I think of certain things that the government has laid down, NCT has laid down. When we talk about holistic report card, I see a lot of trainings happening around on holistic report card, but does the teacher understand competency based learning? Does she understand the difference between competency and learning outcomes? So here, as teacher training institute, we have to make sure that each and every PhD understands this little nuances which NEP has proposed, which has been part of NCF. So here I come with a little introduction of the National Professional Standards for Teacher, which NCTE has laid down. So all of you know what is NCTE? The question is for the pre-service teachers. National Council for Teacher Education, right? So whatever you study in your classroom, whatever guidelines are laid down for teacher education, basically comes from the nodal body, which is the NCTE. So NCTE has actually laid down the professional standards for teachers, so that the teacher knows where she has to go in the journey of professional growth, and what is it that we can do for it. Next. So what is the context here? So basically, what NPST says is, if you have to improve the society, and we all already know it, if you have to improve the society, we have to improve the quality of education in the school. Teacher is the most important link, right? आपको कुछ भी society में change करना है, so teacher has to be changed first, right? So if you remember the COVID times, I think most of you would have been in school at that time. The way the educational world took over and started with learning within 15 days of the lockdown, none of the other industries were, ready for it, right? So the way we changed our ways, we first started with WhatsApp, giving a lesson on WhatsApp. Then we started, using Blue Jeans, Zoom, all these things, all these platforms to teach our students. So what actually did not suffer as much as the other industries was the educational industry, right? So the learning level, there was a learning loss, but we recovered it within a span of 2 years. As visible in the Asser report or the Parak report, we can see that gap has been achieved or filled. So it actually stresses on what are the career stages and how we have to grow across all these stages. We can go to the next. Yeah, we'll go to the next. So this is basically the para in NEP. So whenever you have to talk about a policy guideline, you have to quote the NEP, which para talks about this. So you can all go through this 5.20 para, which speaks about the teacher standards, the NPST and all, if you wish to. So teaching is viewed, for ages, teaching has been viewed as a moral and intellectual transformative activity, right? So a teacher brings the moral and transformative change in the student, and hence teacher has to go through that herself, right? She's seen as facilitator. She highlights the role, and KST also highlights the role of teacher in inclusive and equitable learning, right? So all of you understand what is an equitable learning? I'm asking these questions because I just want to make sure that you are with me, all of you, instead of, on your screens. Guys, all of you understand equitable learning? Yes. Yeah, I can hear yes every time for here, not from there. So once a teacher, always a teacher goes a saying. So I have been a teacher. So it envisions teachers grounded in Indian constitutional values. जो first standard है NPST का, it talks about the Indian constitutional values. So we go to the next. So as I say, NPST is actually laying guidelines for all these 4 areas. So usually when there are guidelines, they talk about how a teacher should be in her classroom. But NPST actually lays the guidelines in such a way that what is to be done in the pre-service teacher to what is to be done in the classroom and how the teacher rises in her career once she is in the classroom. So these are the core areas: teacher education, her role management, her career management, and her professional development. We'll go to the next. So as pre-service, as king players in the pre-service sector, what do we actually have to do? What is our responsibility? It is to enhance the teacher quality, ensure school improvement through these teachers, curriculum literacy of the curriculum that is being laid down through NCF. Through different states. So if you have a good, sufficient knowledge of NCF, you will be able to work in any state because that's a national curriculum framework. So we saw one example here, the demonstration of the caterpillar to butterfly journey. So I'm sure that experience was not given in the college. What did the college give? It gave the thought process to the student. So she was able to think and curate those experiences for the students, right? So under research-informed practice, which we heard a lot in our sessions also, the data-driven practice where whatever you propose, whatever you bring to the classroom has been informed by research, has some evidence to it, has some support to it that it has been working, and hence we are favoring this particular method. So these are the levels that has been raised by, decided by NPST. The first is the proficient, which is also called the Praveen teacher. This is the teacher who has just joined the school. Then comes the Unnat or the advanced teacher, and then the last is the expert or Visheshagya. So we'll just briefly see what NPST says. So basically it has laid down 3 standards and 13 domains. So when you read through the document, and I would wish the faculty reads through the document so that they are aware of what is going to happen in the government sector in near future. The appraisals of the teachers will not be based upon the number of years, it will be based on certain factors. There's an assessment framework that has been laid down for it. So implication in teacher education, I have already spoken about it. So it is basically what are we going to change in our curriculum, in our transactions for the teachers to be able to deliver their job effectively. So for in-service teacher, as we already shared, there's a continuous professional development which basically NEP suggests. It basically says 50 hours of continuous professional development has to be done in a span of 1 year for every teacher. So we were looking at 20 hours of professional development in US. In India, they suggest 50 hours of professional development. So basically 50 hours of professional development can be in self-paced mode, it can be on face-to-face mode, and it can be online mode also. So you have to look at this carefully, and who will tell me, like as pre-service teachers, which level are you in? I would like some answers from the back. रोज ये पूरा ग्राफ देख के आपको क्या लगता है किस लेवल पे हैं आप अभी? I wish I knew your names. I would have thought this. So once you are at the dais, the teacher in you actually, she gets up. Yeah. So where are you as pre-service teacher? Huh? Okay, loudly, I can't hear. I got 2 answers, aspirants and beginners. So how many of you say you are aspirants? Raise your hands. No fear. Yes, you're all aspirants, right? So the minute you join the schools, you'll be beginner. So as pre-service teacher training institute, our role lies at this stage stage where we enrich your experiences, where we give you experiences to become teachers, and then when you join your institutes, schools, you become a beginner. So what is it that I have to do with a beginner to make her a proficient teacher, and then an advanced? And after an advanced teacher, which is almost like 15 years of your journey, you become an expert. So then you start training the other teachers, you become a part of national mission of mentoring, and then you can, help other teachers too. Right? Great. So this is your journey as laid by NPST, and there are clear-cut, standards and domains, and there are assessment frameworks. There are self-evaluation, tools where you can evaluate yourself and see what kind of learning you have to do to be able to further grow yourself. So I think the focus areas that we all need to have as pre-service teacher training institutes is, giving into the society high quality teachers, the curriculum that can be tweaked and contextualized with the learning of the students, with the career dreams that they have, and also a lot of research. I don't think action research is part of the pre-service teacher training as of now. It should be part of the pre-service teacher training, because action research actually helps you to deal and solve your problems on daily basis which you come across in your classrooms. Academic leadership, right? So not only, when you become a teacher, you're a leader in yourself, because already you are leading a group of 40 students in the classroom, and when you deal number of sections, there's almost like 100 to 200 students that you deal on your daily basis, right? And also a knowledge about the vocational skills, the vocational knowledge, the vocational education, the inclusivity. So what CPD says is that at least 6 hours of your training has to go in special education, so that each teacher is aware of what are the 21 disabilities laid down by RPWD Act, or how you're supposed to deal with them, what are the interventions, what are the policies that support them, right? Next. So with this I end my discussion here. Any questions I would love to answer from the audience. So since you are at BTDC, you can be sure that you're already being given a lot of good experience, practical experience, and you will be soon landing into a teaching world. The world may not be that scary to you, because you've given a lot of exposure already. So, and I thank BTDC team for that experiences that you're giving to teacher, and for the hope that it gives me and my organization every time that we come here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Nirupama Sharma, for your perspective. We greatly benefit from voices as yours because of your rich background in policy and teacher development at the national level. You bring depth and insights into our understanding of teacher competencies. Your talk highlighted exactly what needs to shift, from content-heavy courses to practicing rich preparation, from evaluation only to feedback and mentoring, from one-size-fits-all to competency progression, and from compliance to professional agency. You broke down also what the NEP 2020 policy details about teacher competencies and about teacher professional standards. And you reminded us to keep the hope alive in our vision and mission to change the world. Thank you for your talk.
We now invite Mr. Dilip Ramrakhiani, Vice Principal of Kishan Chand Chelaram College, Junior College, Mumbai, to address the gathering. We request him to offer his reflections on the core professional competencies of upcoming junior college teachers. Sir, we are pleased to have you with us.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you. I know most of you are tired and hungry. I'll just take 10 minutes of yours. First of all, heartfelt gratitude to
and we are late.
Bttc College, Principal Dr. Bhagwan Balani, Vice Principal Dr. Mandip Kochar, Head of Department Dr. Rajiv Jha, my co-speakers, offline, online. In offline, Mr. Anurag Pandey, Dr. Anurag Pandey, Ms. Nirupama Sharma, all the staff of BTTC team, and my young friends. My topic for today is core professional competencies of upcoming junior college teachers. I'll be speaking on 7 contents in this. The first is subject matter knowledge. When we recruit teachers for a college, some of the staff say we are hiring teachers. Can we really hire a knowledgeable person? No. I say we invite them so that they can share their knowledge with our students. Salary part is another aspect. But we cannot hire a knowledgeable person. When we talk about subject knowledge, see, teaching is a dynamic, demanding profession that plays very vital role in shaping individual and society. Like Dr. Anurag said, happy teachers, happy students, and happy community. So, time is changing. Dr. Balani said, knowledge rapidly changes. It's true. In rapidly changing education landscape in 21st century, upcoming teachers must possess a set of core professional competencies. Aspiring teachers, please make a note of this. It should go beyond subject knowledge. These competencies enable teachers to respond effectively to diverse learners, integrate technology, uphold ethical standards, and contribute positively to the school and community. Developing these professional competencies is essential for ensuring quality education and lifelong learning. The first and the most important aspect in this, pedagogical competencies within the framework of curriculum. Teachers must have a deep understanding of the subject they teach. I tell you something, I deal with teachers who are teaching in 11th and 12th standard. We call it as junior college in Maharashtra. So teachers, when I'm a biologist, when I take interviews in biology subject, which chapter you are comfortable with? Out of 12 chapters, teachers say only 2. That really subject matter, only 2 in 12th standard. So teachers, remember, deep understanding of the subject which you have chosen in your post-graduation or graduation. Content in ways that clear, engaging, appropriate learners' developmental level. It should reach to the masses. Second thing I would like to discuss is communication skill. As the audience in the class are diverse, we say average, above average, below average. I tell you something, after this online admissions in junior college in Maharashtra, we can't say that my college in South Mumbai, all the students will be cream, 92 plus, 93 plus and 95 plus. No, we have some students which are below average also. So you should have communication skill which can reach to each and every individual in the class. They have come, they have sat in your class to learn something from you. When communication skill is not proper, please work on this. This is crucial competence, communication skill. Teaching is inherently communicative profession that requires clear verbal and written expression, active listening, ability to explain complex ideas very simply. Upcoming teachers must also be skilled in non-verbal communication, such as body language, facial expressions, which significantly influence classroom interaction. Third aspect in this is professional ethics and values. That is the main moral foundation of the teaching. Upcoming teachers must demonstrate integrity, fairness, respect and responsibility in their professional conduct. Okay, NEP 2020 is also working on this aspect. Ethical competence includes maintaining confidentiality, treating all learners equitability, avoiding discrimination, serving as positive role models. Teachers are not only educators but moral guides. Therefore, their behavior strongly influences students' character development. Next is digital area. Nowadays, as Balani sir said, we have to work on AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, please identify how can you integrate AI with your subject. That is need of the hour. Next is management and leadership skills. Essential professional competency. Teachers must be able to create supportive, motivating classroom environment. Supportive, motivating classroom environment. This involves setting clear expectations. What they expect from us, we have to come up to that level. Managing students' behavior, because there are different kinds of students from different socioeconomic background. Upbringing is different. You have to really identify them and accordingly you have to teach them. Encouraging participation in the class. Leadership competency allows teachers to guide learners, work effectively in team, okay, and contribute to school development initiatives. Next is reflective lifelong learning competence. Lifelong learning. Learning never stops. You just teach them curriculum, they take the degree, they go out, but actually in the field, wherever they are working, they have to learn many things in that. Teaching is a profession that requires continuous growth, upgrade your knowledge, and self-improvement. As ma'am said, there are training sessions, 50 hours in a year is mandatory. So you have to self-improve yourself. Upcoming teachers should reflect to practitioners, evaluate their teaching practices, take the feedback from students, and engage professional development opportunities. Last but not the least, emotional and social competence. NEP is also working on this. Plays key role in effective teaching. Teachers must be patient, emotionally intelligent to understand the needs of each student and face the challenges. Social competency teachers build positive relationships with students, parents, colleagues, and foster collaborative support. Thank you. I conclude. All the best to all the teachers, upcoming teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for explaining to us the characteristics of a junior college teacher and how important it is for us to have a deep understanding of the subject we teach, and we need to have skills like communication and active listening and to incorporate professional ethics and values. Thank you, sir.
Our online speaker, Dr. Pargat Singh Garcha, has prepared a video for us, which we will be sharing to all of you. Due to paucity of time, we may not play it right now.
We will play it right now. We are playing it.
Okay.
Yes, we have time.
So we will play the video. The title of his presentation is Core Professional Competencies for Teachers in the Digital and Inclusive Era.
Very good morning to all the respected colleagues, teacher educators, would-be teachers, and all the organizers of today's program. As organizers have assigned me one topic to speak in today's program, that is core professional competencies for teachers in the digital and inclusive era. So in the next 10 to 12 minutes, we will be focusing on this topic. As you all know that in our education colleges or in the teacher education colleges, we are preparing teachers not merely for the classrooms, but for a world marked by a rapid technological changes. You all know that day by day diversity is increasing, and we are living in an uncertain future. We are living in an uncertain environment. You do not know what type of jobs will be offered after 5 years or after 10 years. So teaching today is no longer the only transmission of content. It is a design of learning. It is to create good learning experiences and the cultivation of human values and the ethical use of technology in deeply diverse classrooms. We have to admit one thing, that day by day classes are becoming more and more diverse. And as in NEP 2020 also, the technology is going to play a key role in the coming years. If you will go to that NEP 2020 policy document, you will see that in around 66 pages document, more than 68 times the word technology has been used. So it clearly shows that the policy is going to introduce new courses. The policy is going to motivate you to use technology in your classroom, in your teaching learning process. But here you have to learn one thing, that technology doesn't mean only the audio visual aids. Technology doesn't mean only the PowerPoint presentations. Technology doesn't mean only the video content. Technology has two sides, hardware approach as well as the software approach. Then comes the system approach and the other approaches. So we have to keep in mind that technology doesn't mean only use of instruments. Technology doesn't mean the use of gadgets. In today's presentation, I haven't prepared PowerPoint presentation intentionally, because I would like to share that if I'm not using the PowerPoint presentation, it doesn't mean that I have not used technology. While framing this whole content, while designing this content, while deciding the learning objectives, what type of target audience I'm going to speak, all these things are part and parcel of technology, which is part of the software approach. So we need to understand that we have to use technology in a wider sense, and in this digital era and diverse classrooms, we have to transform our teaching learning process. The NEP 2020 recognizes this reality and places a teacher at the very center of the educational transformation. It is rightly said that even the best of the curriculum are bound to fail unless quickened into the light by the good teachers. So, जब तक आप उस करिकुलम को, आप उस पॉलिसी को क्लासरूम में इंप्लीमेंट नहीं करेंगे, it is not possible to go at the grassroots level or at a ground zero level. However, policy intent alone cannot transform education. Professional competencies of teachers can do it. Few years back, NCT has identified few competencies. 10 core competencies were identified. But nowadays, in context of NEP 2020, we need to redefine those competencies. Today, I wish to engage with you not as an instructor, but as a fellow teacher educator, reflecting on what kind of teacher professionalism is required in the digital and inclusive ways, how we all can work together to create a good learning environment. So I have not used word skill, I have used word competency, because a skill can be trained. When we talk about the competence, a competence integrate knowledge, skill, attitude, ethics, and judgment. So competence is a wider term. It also includes skill, but along with skill, it includes knowledge, attitude, ethics, and judgment. So when we are talking about the competencies, NEP 2020 and the global framework like OECD, UNESCO converge on one point. That one point is teachers must be adaptive professional, not routine practitioner. So चाहे आप NEP 2020 की बात करें, चाहे other global framework की बात करें, all are converging on one point, that is teachers must be adaptive professional, not routine practitioner. Thus, I will focus on 4 core competencies that redefine teacher identity today, each illustrated through some examples. So first of all, I would like to talk about the ethical reflective professional competence. That is the first ethical reflective professional competence. It is the most critical competency of a teacher today is ethical judgment, grounded in a reflective practice. In the era of data-driven assessment, we know that each and everything is defined by the data. The person, the country, the state who has the data is the king. So AI tools and performance metric, teachers must continuously work for what? To decide whether this practice is equitable. Is it creating a digital divide? Then am I responding to diversity or suppressing it? Whether I am using this technological instruments, this technological era as a source of inclusivity, or I am suppressing the diversity. So we need to think ethically, we need to give ethical judgment grounded in a reflective practice. So in this AI era, in this digitally driven education system, we need to think that whether this practice is equitable or not, we have to think on this issue. For example, in a school, a teacher noticed that digital assessment consistently disadvantages some of the student, some of the first generation learner. So rather than blaming the student or the learner, teacher can redesign assessment formats, introduce oral reflection, and slowly moves to the technology like we do in a reading psychology, that is scaffolding. So he can scaffold digital literacy instead of pressing on that part of technology. He can slowly move to the technological aspect. Then this is a professional ethics in action, not theory. So we need to put this professional ethics in action, not only in theory. So this is my first humble submission, humble request to all our teachers to work on this aspect. The second, I would like to talk about the pedagogical competence for deep learning. Now, pedagogy in the digital age is not about using technology, but about using it purposefully to promote higher order thinking. We have to promote the higher order thinking. So NEP 2020 strongly reject rote learning and calls for experiential learning, calls for competence-based learning, calls for assessment for learning, not of learning. As we have some papers in all in B.Ed curriculum and DLED curriculum also, that nowadays we are focusing more upon assessment for learning, not of learning. So our pedagogy should be inquiry driven, our pedagogy should be experiential based, so we have to work on these issues. So this is my second humble submission in context of core professional competencies for teachers. So when we come to the third competence, that is a digital competence, the human sensitivity. The digital teacher is not a technician, but a pedagogical decision maker. The true digital competence include selecting appropriate tools, then ensuring the accessibility of that tool, then comes maintaining the data ethics. It is very important nowadays, the ethical use of the data, then preventing digital exclusion. As I have said earlier also, we have to prevent digital exclusion. We have to keep in mind all the students in our classroom. If I would like to take one example from the school, for example, a teacher uses a blended model of teaching learning process. The online quizzes for immediate feedback, offline peer discussion for conceptual clarity, alternative assessment for students with limited access. Technology here serves the pedagogy, not the other way around. So we have to keep these things in mind. So NEP 2020 vision also says that we have to use blended learning, we have to use a digital repository, we have to use a teacher readiness for future classroom, but we have to keep in mind that all these technological things should be used with a human sensitivity by selecting the appropriate tool, by preventing the digital exclusion. The fourth point I would like to focus that is a inclusive competence, teaching every learner. That is very important in today's time. Because we know that inclusion is not limited to the disability. As compared to Ludhiana, the Mumbai has a much more sophisticated, much more developed system to understand the concept of inclusivity. I have seen so many good practices in Mumbai in context to inclusiveness. So here inclusion today is not limited to disability, it includes linguistic diversity. When we are talking about the NEP is saying that we have to promote all languages. So we are going to teach in a diverse classroom. So we have to accept the language diversity. We have to accept the socio-economic diversity. We have to think about the emotional and mental well-being of the student. We have to keep with the pace of the different students with a different learning style. We know that all the students are not with the same learning style. So we have to pace with the learning style of the students. So an inclusive teacher always design flexible learning pathway. He also uses universal design for the learning UDLs. Then he build emotionally safe classrooms. So we all should work together for creating such type of classroom where inclusivity should be promoted, where all type of learners can learn in a one classroom. For example, in a multi-classroom situation in a school, the teacher allows initial response in the home languages. They can speak their home languages. Then peer translation support can be provided to those students. Then visual and activity-based learning can be used so that their home language should be developed along with the course language or the classroom languages. So the outcome is a participation without fear among the student. Slowly all the students will come at one platform, learn from each other, teacher will support the student. So we need to develop such type of a classroom. And our NEP 2020 also makes one commitment that we should provide equity, access and quality education to our students. So all the would-be teachers should keep in mind that whether they are providing equity, access and quality. Then sport for first generation learner. We have to keep in our mind that whenever we are teaching in the classroom, we have to give special focus on the first generation learners, because otherwise they would be sidelined in the digital era. So we need flexible curriculum, we need flexible assessment system to address all the diversities in this digital era, and we have to include all type of student in our classroom. So here the teacher should work as a change agent. When we integrate all these competences, a powerful image of the teacher emerges. The teacher who is ethically grounded, who is pedagogically skilled, who is a digitally learned, and who is inclusively responsive. So we need to develop such type of teachers who can not merely prepare students for exams, but for citizenship, but for employment, but for lifelong learning, aligning directly with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. So in the end, I would like to say only two lines, that a teacher educator and a principal's responsibility is profound. Whether you are a teacher or a teacher educator or a principal, our responsibility is profound. We are not producing degree holders. We have to keep in mind that we are shaping the professional conscience of future teacher educators. So with these words, I strongly believe that all the students who are in the journey of becoming a teacher will work on these professional competencies in context of NEP 2020 as well as the global framework, to address both the issues digital era in teaching learning process or in a school education, as well as the inclusivity. So with this word, I'm really thankful to the organizers for giving me this platform to interact with all of you within a limited 7 to 10 minute time. So I have tried to convey the basic idea which I would like to share with you people, because we all know that technology can make you, technology can break you. So with the high hopes that all the teachers, would-be teachers, will try to understand these two dimensions. One is a digital era, second is inclusivity, by adopting all these competencies in their day-to-day life and in their teacher behavior. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.
Although Dr. Pargat Singh Garcha is not here with us, I would still like to take this moment to express thanks for his talk. He focused on teacher professionalism in the digital era, and he spoke of 4 competencies that we will be taking home with us today. An ethical reflector, pedagogical competency for deep learning, digital competency of and human sensitivity, and the 4th one is inclusive competence. He said that all knowledge, skills, attitude, ethics and judgment all must be integrated so that we as teachers can emerge as change makers and not just routine practitioners. Thank you, sir.
We shall now proceed to the question and answer session. Participants are requested to keep their questions brief and relevant to the theme of the program. Kindly raise your hand and a microphone will be brought to you.
Good afternoon. My question is to you, sir, Anurag sir. How do principals differentiate between teachers who are technically skilled and the ones who are professionally mature, especially during very first years of services?
So you mean to say that once you begin your journey as a beginner, and there are people who are experts there. So it all again comes to teamwork, because teamworks make dream work, and every individual is a unique individual. And as I told you in my sessions as well, that learning is a never-ending process. And as far as technological knowledge is concerned or pedagogical knowledge is concerned, I feel that if you have the attitude to learn, because every man is ignorant on different subject and topic, as ma'am beautifully covered about the NEP framework, which has graded teachers like the aspirant teachers, the beginner, the proficient, the masters. So I feel that once the journey continues, I'm sure that when you have a culture, because in this era of technology, I think everything can be copied. As Balani sir also said, that information is available on the fingertips. So everything can be copied, but the culture cannot be copied. So I feel if you have that positive culture in the school, that happy environment in the school, and I'm sure the beginners will definitely be the masters soon by holding each other's hand. And this is how the transformation will take in the society, and everybody will learn together, everybody will grow together, because teamwork is so very important. Thank you so much.
I'd like to question Dilip sir that with increasing pressure of result, burnout, and digital competencies, how can a junior college teacher maintain such pressure without any burnout?
First of all, believe in yourself. And second thing, like Anurag said, teamwork. Okay, you may be good in one field, your friend may be good in other field. So in teamwork, you exchange your knowledge. Okay, by this you can work on it.
My question is to Nirupama ma'am. Ma'am, you mentioned national standards for teaching. As pre-service teachers, we are quite inept with AI. So when we are in touch with AI, we lose the connection of standards, maintaining certain standards that are not, you can't cross the borders. So how do you suggest that as pre-teachers we are aware of what we are doing on AI?
So I think your question was already answered by one of the participants, one of the speakers here. So AI first, AI last, agility first. So you have to keep yourself updated with the standards. And since NPST has very clearly laid the standards for every level of teacher, if you just go through that, you will see that, okay, do I fit in here? So it will always help you to, be a kind of, compass for you. It will tell you where your North Star is. And AI is, we should not judge AI as something negative. It is a very powerful tool. So you have to be very creative with AI. Let it work for you rather than work for it, right? So don't be afraid of using AI. Be very, have to be very apt with it. You have to be very strong with the prompts, and you should know what to learn. जैसा वो Deller's Commission ने बोला ना, what are the 4 pillars of learning? So you have to know what to know. Then you can control AI. And then your standards will be maintained when you go through the journey. And integrity, I think, when your integrity is in place to your job, you will always do well.
Do we have any last questions? Thank you to all the speakers and participants for this engaging interaction. I think I will go home with AI last and agility first. That's a good reminder for all of us pre-service teachers. As we come to the conclusion of this enriching program, I invite Ms. Shifa Khan from first year BF to propose the formal vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, respected speakers, faculty members, and dear participants. It is my proud privilege to extend my heartfelt gratitude as we draw this international seminar to a close. At the outset, I extend my sincere gratitude to all our distinguished speakers who generously shared their expertise and enriched this international seminar with their insightful and thought-provoking sessions. I would like to sincerely thank Ms. Sapna Changrani for her enlightening address, wherein she emphasized the importance of balancing professional, emotional, and ethical competencies in shaping effective educators. I convey my sincere appreciation to Ms. Monica Tekchandani for her session, which offered valuable insights into global perspectives and international best practices in teacher education. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Parvat Singh Garcha for sharing his reflections and for highlighting strategies to prepare teachers for the evolving demands of contemporary and inclusive educational context. My sincere thanks goes to Dr. Anurag Pandey for his thought-provoking session, which provided a clear perspective on the competencies and attributes required of today's educators. I also thank Ms. Nirupama Sharma for her presentation, which offered valuable insights into professional standards and their relevance in the development of prospective teacher. I express my gratitude to Mr. Dilip Ram Rakhiani for his session, which highlighted the essential skills and attributes required for future junior college educators. At this juncture, I sincerely thank our respected principal, Dr. Bhagwan Balani, for his visionary leadership, constant encouragement, and unwavering support, which were instrumental in the successful organization of this seminar. I extend special thanks to our organizing secretaries, Vice Principal Professor Dr. Mandeep Kaur, Professor Dr. Rajiv I. Jha, and Dr. Nidu Verma for their meticulous planning, guidance, and dedicated efforts throughout the seminar. I also extend my sincere thanks to all the faculty members of Bombay Teachers Training College for their cooperation, commitment, and wholehearted involvement in organizing this program. Special appreciation is due to the technical and support teams, including the brochure, logistic, hall arrangement, decorative, hospitality, social media, and the audio and video team for ensuring the smooth conduct of the seminar in hybrid mode and for providing seamless technical support throughout. I acknowledge and deeply appreciate the dedicated efforts of all the student volunteers whose enthusiasm, coordination, and commitment contributed significantly to the success of this event. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the online and offline participants for their active presence, meaningful engagement, and valuable contributions which truly enhance the academic richness of this seminar. I also place on record my sincere appreciation for the non-teaching and support staff whose behind-the-scenes efforts and cooperation played a vital role in the smooth execution of this program. Finally, I thank everyone associated with this international seminar for making it a meaningful and enriching experience. Thank you one and all. As we formally conclude this international seminar, may I now request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you everyone. We close this Zoom meeting for our outside participants. Thank you so much for your participation. This Zoom meeting is closed now. And I request all the guests, please come on the 7th floor. Students, quickly take a break and there is a workshop for you all. Post lunch, there is a workshop. Please come on the 9th floor. I request students, please hold the lift for the guests. Thank you very much.
Wait a minute. No, ऐसे करना है, ये करूँ, सेव हो जाएगा ना, या इवन आई एम
I'll help somebody will come. Yes. Organizing team also can come.